We are finally in the part 3 of this paper M416 tutorial, which is the stock. So let's start. So the first thing we're going to make is the buffer tube. Just a reminder, I know that this is a tutorial, but I'm not going to go in full detail explaining where to glue this or how to fold this piece because it is basically self-explanatory just by watching this video. The intermediate layer is a little bit hard to glue to the inner tube, so I use rubber bands to hold it in place. After gluing all the intermediate layers, we are now going to cover it with the outer tube. After making the buffer tube plate and band, we are now going to glue it to the inner tube. Supposedly it should go this farther, but it doesn't fit, so I just glued it here. After making the ladder frame and the ladder segments, we are now going to glue it to the buffer tube, and it should be aligned like this to the buffer tube plate. And now that the buffer tube is finished, we can now proceed to attach it to the lower receiver. We are now going to make the stock. Now I messed this part up because I glued the cheek plate and the flared support in the wrong way, and you'll see later why. I also messed up this part like what I did earlier with the cheek plate and the flared support. Now this is the part where I realized that I messed up. I glued the central support and the flared support in the wrong way, so I tried separating all the pieces by using a cutter, which is the most painful part of this video. what I did wrong is I glued the two supports in the opposite and wrong way, which is like this, but in reality it should be glued like this. And that fixed what I messed up earlier. After that, we can now proceed on making the rest of the stock. Now we can glue this piece right here in this hole or in this middle hole right here, but the author preferred to glue it in this hole, so let's glue it here. I just said the word hole 3 times. So in this part, we are now making the lever for the locking system of our stock. After making the lever, we're now going to proceed to make the stock pin. Now we're going to need a spring for this part, but I don't have one, so I just grab a spring from this kind of notebook right here. Now the purpose of this stock pin is that it's going to prevent the stock from moving after being inserted to the buffer tube. The stock is almost finished now, and the only thing left to make is the butt pad and the butt plate. The stock is finally finished. We can now try and insert it to the buffer tube. Make sure to pull the lever first before inserting the stock to the buffer tube. And it works. And also you can adjust its length depending on your preference. Thanks for watching and see you in part 4.